local economy. Let's take a look at how the global economy is faring.
Now, from my earlier report, we were able to see the sort of impact that coronavirus has had on the local economy. However, now we're going to take you through some of the global headlines that we've had in the business front when it comes to the coronavirus. And starting us off is MasterCard. Now, what they have done is announced a reduction when it comes to their projections by about 2 or 3%. They're expecting it to go down, mainly due to the air travel of particular airlines being reduced, especially towards the Chinese market. So this is expected to reduce. And still sticking to the Chinese market, Apple has announced that it will be closing down some of its stores in China to enable them curb this particular virus, because those are very big stores where a lot of people go there and interact. So those stores that are selling Apple products are also expected to be closed. Now, moving over to stock markets, the British stock market has reduced by 11% during this period where the coronavirus has been making international headlines. Germany has reduced by 12%. Japan, which is actually one of the major hit countries because they actually import most of their spare parts for vehicles that they're manufacturing from China, has taken a hit of about 10%. And South Korea, which also does the same with China, has actually taken a hit of around 8%. Now, just to give you a bit of brief of what's happening in Japan, they're actually running out of toilet paper as we speak, because most of that is being manufactured in China. Now, moving over to the Chinese economy itself, it is expected that their economy size, their projections for the 2020 economy, they expected it to grow by 6%. However, that is going to shrink by 4.5%. And recent reports that have reached our newsrooms from Bloomberg Business is that this number of 4.5% is actually expected to go even lower in the coming days if the situation actually persists. Now, oil, which is actually another major factor in the global markets, has actually reduced. The demand for oil has reduced by 435,000 barrels. That is a lot of oil. It is estimated that most of this oil was headed to the Chinese market, where it would have been used for manufacturing activities. However, these factories that are involved in manufacturing activities have been shut down, and that's why we have this fall in demand of about 500,000 barrels of oil. So the global airline market, I had mentioned that a bit because it was intertied with the MasterCard plummet in terms of their projections for the first quarter of 2020. They're expected to lose between $4 to $5 billion in this particular period. Now, remember last week we had told you that the airline industry was losing an estimated 2.9 trillion shillings. However, this number has actually increased to between 4 and 5 trillion shillings. Remember, Kenya Airways alone, that had suspended flights to Guangzhou, had actually lost around 800 million shillings during that period due to the suspension of flights. So this is a projection of what the global economy is going to look at. This is, of course, a statement that was made by the UN's International Civil Aviation Organization. Now, moving over to some of the big events globally that have been cancelled, putting aside issues to do with sports. Now, the biggest one is the 2020 Geneva Motor Show, which was expected to take place in Geneva. It was expecting around 600,000 individuals. However, this event was shut down. The World Mobile Congress, which was again supposed to take place in Barcelona, Spain. However, that particular event has been cancelled. The ITB Berlin Forum, which deals with tourism and travel, has also been cancelled. Now, that event, we are actually planning to cover that event to bring you the updates from that event, but it has been cancelled due to the coronavirus outbreak. These are now some of the electronics that are expected to shrink when it comes to this year's sales. Now, for TVs, the amount of sales is expected to reduce by around 4.5%. Gaming consoles is expected to reduce by 10.1%. Smartphones, which I had mentioned earlier, Apple has actually said that if you order an iPhone straight from them, it will take you 1 to 2 weeks before your actual delivery date, because they have also reduced or scaled down production in China. So that again has taken a hit of around 10.4%. Smart speakers, which are actually pretty popular right now, have taken a hit of around 12.1%. Notebooks, MacBooks and laptops in general are going to reduce by 12.3%. 60%. Smartwatches also reducing, they're actually taking the biggest hit by reducing to around 16%. Now this is actually a picture, a global picture of what is happening and the effects of coronavirus on the economy, not only in Kenya, but globally. These are the effects that this particular virus has had so far.
Goodness, scary statistics there by our very own Faisal Ahmed.